There has been significant discussion recently surrounding OnlyFans, particularly in relation to individuals like Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue, whose actions have been viewed by some as extreme or even dangerous. I view them as very extreme and very dangerous. However, my intention isn't to dehumanize anyone who participates in OnlyFans. That's not my place. Rather, I believe it's important to acknowledge the moral and mental implications of our actions. We each have a responsibility and a moral obligation to contribute to making society better. And that responsibility extends to both the creators on OnlyFans and the individuals who engage with their content. Accountability must exist on both sides, the models and the consumers. So the debate about OnlyFans can be complex. Supporters may argue that it empowers individuals and supports freedom of expression, while critics point out concerns about exploitation, safety, and the broader social and moral consequences. Personally, I don't believe a ban would be effective because people are going to do it anyways, regardless, but people should have the freedom to make choices about their bodies. What is necessary and maybe more effective, however, is a more honest conversation about what OnlyFans and sex work truly entail, as well as the potential consequences of participating in it and potentially consuming it. So first, here are some of the common arguments for OnlyFans or for the usage of OnlyFans. First, you have the freedom of expression. Supporters of OnlyFans argue that the platform provides a safe space for adult content creators to express themselves freely. In many ways, it is seen as empowering creators by giving them control over their content and their income without intermediaries. This may be true in some cases, but OnlyFans agencies do exist and they control all parts of the model's experience, so the empowerment aspect really evaporates or just completely goes away. Next, you have economic independence. OnlyFans allows creators to earn money on their terms, but the actual truth is that OnlyFans has 2.1 million content creators, and the average OnlyFans creator makes $151 per month. This truth has to be out there for everyone to realize. And next one would be sort of this legal and safe space for adult content. Well, the platform hosts explicit content, yes, it does so within legal frameworks, providing a safer environment than illegal or underground sites. It operates under rules that restrict non-consensual content and underage material, which can be better regulated than many other unmoderated platforms. That one is obviously an extreme positive if we're going to talk about just the idea of creating adult content. And then you have increased autonomy for sex workers. Sex workers often advocate for platforms like OnlyFans because they offer an alternative to street work or other potentially dangerous forms of sex work. The platform allows individuals to work independently, control their schedules, and maintain more privacy than other forms of sex work. I did mention OnlyFans agencies. That sort of restricts a little bit of autonomy for sex workers, but I understand it could potentially be safer than some of these other ways of doing it. And so the case against OnlyFans is primarily rooted in concerns related to exploitation, safety, morality, and the broader societal impact of adult content platforms. So we're going to discuss the main arguments against OnlyFans. One, you have this exploitation of vulnerable individuals. Financial pressure, right? Financial pressure. OnlyFans exploits individuals, especially those in financial distress. Many people, particularly young adults, may turn to this platform because they feel financially desperate, which raises concerns about whether the platform is preying on their vulnerability. It also speaks to a larger societal issue about finances. And then you have mental health concerns, right? This constant pressure to produce content and interact with subscribers can obviously be mentally and emotionally taxing, as well as lead to more and more extreme acts to keep paying customers happy. That's what we're seeing with Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue. What more and more and more stuff can they do to get sort of these clicks in the consumer economy? So some creators have obviously reported feeling isolated, stigmatized, or emotionally distressed by their work on the platform. And more deeply, it creates a sense that the creators or anyone who's on there, their only value is their body. And that is not true for any person ever. It destroys, your sense of self, and we must protect or warn people about this as a potential consequence when doing these sorts of things. We matter, we deeply matter, and we have to express that to people. And they're way more than just this one thing that they think is how can get them money or make them famous or whatever the case may be. And the next case against is this risk to minors, right? Access to adult content. Like people younger and younger are getting access to adult content. That's, again, a larger conversation about the internet and all sorts of things. But despite age restrictions, there are some ongoing concerns about potential for minors to access or be involved in explicit content on the platform. Even though OnlyFans has a verification system, there's been reports of users bypassing the system, putting underage individuals at risk of exposure to explicit material. And then you have underage content creation. In some cases, minors may attempt to create content on the platform or any other adult sites. Although OnlyFans bans such content, the risk remains, and there have been concerns about how well the platform can protect young people from exploitation. I mean, Bonnie Blue's sort of whole MO is this sort of barely legal thing. And it's gross, and we need to protect against that. We need to talk about that. We need to express more disdain for things of that nature. And then also, it just creates this normalization of adult content, right? We're just objectifying people. Platforms like OnlyFans do contribute to the objectification of people, particularly women, by commodifying their bodies for profit. We said some feel like their only value is their body. That is just not true, and we have to express a different path. There is concern that the normalization of such platforms may reduce respect for people's autonomy and reduce the emphasis of human dignity. We're already seeing that. That's why I mentioned I don't want to dehumanize anyone. That's not what it's about. It's about having a deeper conversation about how much people have more worth and value than this, and we have to understand that. And then we move on to this idea of our sexualizing everything in our society. We can already see that happening. Like OnlyFans is part of a broader trend that sexualizes society and everything, and it encourages the commodification of the sexuality no matter what. No matter if you're cooking food or on social or on OnlyFans, it's about sexualizing everything. This perspective sees such platforms as contributing to a culture that devalues intimacy and personal relationships. We know that great relationships are the cornerstone of a great life, and things like this devalue them because you can just pay for something that you could actually work hard to get. It's absolutely contributing to the destruction of the nuclear family, and men play a large part in participating and consuming all of this, and we need to do a better job of holding them accountable. And then you have privacy and safety concerns, right? Hacking and leaks, of course. One of the significant risks for OnlyFans creators is the potential for their content to be leaked or hacked. OnlyFans says they protect against that. That's not true. Once explicit content is posted online, it's very almost impossible to control its distribution, and it's really on there forever. There have been cases of leaked videos or images from creators, and this obviously can cause serious personal and professional harm for the rest of your life. It's on there forever. We have to think about longer-term vision thinking. A lot, again, creators say, I need the money now, so I'm going to do it now. They don't think about 4, 5, 10, 12 years from now what their life could be like and what are the repercussions. I'm just saying we have to have that type of conversation about it. And so there's obviously going to come with online harassment and stalking. The nature of the platform invites potential for harassment and stalking because you're looking for this like girlfriend experience. So people think they own you or owe you, especially the men, paying for these types of things. That's why they keep asking for more and more and more. And creators can become targets of, unsolicited messages, cyberbullying, or even physical threats from subscribers. The safety of creators can be compromised due to the public nature of their content or sort of what's creating this intimacy, right? This is due to the promise of the girlfriend experience. But when most OF agencies, which guys need to know and realize, use chatter, so you're not actually talking to the female. This must prevent you from getting on there. You have to go out to the real world. You have to hold yourself accountable. Men must realize this, take some accountability, and stop feeding into this type of culture, right? All parties are playing a role in the continuation of this thing. And I can speak for men. We must do better. We must do better. And then And then you move on to sort of the ethical concerns regarding content creation. There is power imbalances. Some people argue that OnlyFans, like other platforms, creates power imbalances where creators are forced to constantly engage with their audience to maintain their income. It's definitely happening with OnlyFans agencies and their models. The business model demands a level of intimacy, like I'm talking about, this girlfriend experience and personal engagement that some find exploitative, especially when creators feel pressured to perform in ways they may not fully want, because again, they're having to keep the subscriber happy by doing more and more and more and more and more. Again, we've seen this played out in real time in the culture with Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue. And then you have this emotional and psychological toll that comes with this type of behavior. The need for constant creation, interaction with subscribers, yes, has a negative psychological effect on content creators. That's not an if, this yes. There is a negative psychological effect. It plays out over time, and we can see this when sort of the realness behind the curtain comes through with some of these creators. Some users may feel objectified or reduce their online persona, and this could lead to issues with self-esteem and long-term mental health challenges. This is true. We know that your self-worth and your self-esteem goes way down, and you have long-term challenges with your mental health. And then you have maybe the most important one is moral and social implications, right? It's undermining family and cultural values. Platforms like OnlyFans contradict important societal and religious values that make society better, particularly in cultures that place a high value on modesty or family structures or the nuclear family. These platforms are promoting behaviors that undermine these traditional values that really make up a strong, robust, healthy society. And it influences the young audience. Of course, we have social media. Audiences are getting so influenced by this. We see that right when girls turn 18, they want to get on OnlyFans because they see the sort of life that people are living. But we have to have a different conversation about it. With the rise of OnlyFans and similar platforms, there are concerns that younger audiences may be exposed to adult content and may start viewing explicit content or creating explicit content as normal or desirable, or that's the only way I can do all of these things. This absolutely does contribute to an unrealistic expectations regarding sex, relationships, making money, and consent. So there are large social, societal, cultural, and moral implications. And then you think about the legal and regulatory concerns. Like, there is a lack of regulation, right? Critics argue that there is a lack of robust regulation around platforms like OnlyFans, making it very difficult to ensure the safety and well-being of all parties involved. Without adequate oversight, the platform could become a breeding ground for a lot of illegal activities, including trafficking and exploitation, as we see with some of these other bigger porn sites that have done this stuff very, very, very bad. And so you also have these legal ambiguities around content. There are also some concerns about legal implications for creators, particularly when it comes to issues such as their intellectual property rights, consent, and harassment. The legal framework surrounding adult content is complex and varies across jurisdictions, which can lead to confusion and potential legal trouble for creators and platforms alike. I mentioned sometimes the content gets exposed outside of OnlyFans and it's there forever. And so really the case against OnlyFans revolves around concerns around exploitation, privacy risks, social impact, moral impact, and the platform's long-term effects on society and the mental and emotional well-being of the creators. While it does offer, yes, I guess, some financial independence for some creators at some point, it also raises significant ethical, psychological, and legal questions. Again, an outright ban, in my view, wouldn't be effective, but stronger regulations should be implemented to ensure the safety and rights of creators. After all, they will continue to engage with these platforms regardless, and we need to address and be forthcoming and honest about the negative consequences in ways to protect them. We need to have more deeper chats about the societal, moral, emotional, psychological effects of creating this type of content and viewing this type of content. And so additionally, when discussing why women may resort to making these offers or engaging in extreme and potentially dangerous acts, we must also reflect on why men are accepting and supporting this behavior. It's a deeper chat about masculinity and loneliness and all of that stuff. And so simply brushing it off with cliches like boys being boys or relying on what if scenarios won't solve it, are lame and won't solve the problem or improve the culture or improve the masculinity crisis or improve men's view of women or how we want to go about creating great relationships or how we want to create a great society or how both men and women have a moral obligation to create a great society and create great relationships. So a more nuanced and serious conversation is absolutely needed, 100% needed to address the underlying issues on both sides, moral, social, and cultural issues. So thank you for your time and attention. If you enjoyed that at all or found it informative or valuable whatsoever, please share with a friend. But I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.